In what authorities described as a terrorist act, a long-serving member of parliament was stabbed to death during a meeting with constituents in a church in England on Friday. A 25-year-old man has been arrested in connection with the attack, which shocked and saddened Britain's contentious lawmakers. The assassination of Conservative MP David Amess was being investigated by counter-terrorism officers. The Metropolitan Police announced in a statement early Saturday that the act was terrorism and that the preliminary inquiry has indicated a suspected motivation linked to Islamist extremism. Amess, 69, was assaulted at a Methodist church in Leigh-on-Sea, a town about 40 miles, 62 kilometers, east of London, around lunchtime on Friday. Paramedics attempted but failed to save him. The guy was apprehended, and a knife was discovered. The suspect, who was being jailed on suspicion of murder, was not identified. Though investigations are ongoing, police think the suspect acted alone and are not looking for anyone else in connection with the death. The murder happened 5 years after another MP, Jo Cox, was assassinated in her small-town district by a far-right fanatic, reigniting concerns about the dangers politicians face while representing voters. When British politicians meet with their constituents, they are rarely escorted by police. Amess received tributes from both sides of the political aisle, as well as from the community he had served for decades. At a vigil held at a church in Leigh-on-Sea, locals paid respect to him. Boris Johnson, the Conservative Prime Minister, said he and his cabinet were very shocked and heartbroken. "We must truly leave the police to go on with their investigation," the Prime Minister said when asked if the attack meant MPs needed more security. Amess had been a lawmaker since 1983 and a Member of Parliament for Southend West, which includes Leigh-on-Sea, since 1997, making him one of the longest-serving lawmakers in the House of Commons. He was a well-liked figure with a reputation for working hard for his constituents and tirelessly trying to have Southend proclaimed a city. He was a social conservative on the right of his party. In 2015, Queen Elizabeth II knighted Amess, who left a wife and 5 children, for his service, and he was given the title Sir David. In response to a slew of security concerns, Parliament's flags were lowered to half-staff. Although violence against British politicians is uncommon, there are growing fears about the country's politics becoming increasingly polarized. Cox, a Labour Party legislator, was fatally stabbed and shot in northern England a week before the country's divided Brexit referendum. In recent years, several people have been imprisoned for threatening lawmakers. When British legislators are inside Parliament, they are protected by armed police, and security has been reinforced since a police officer was fatally stabbed at the gates by an attacker inspired by the Islamic State group in 2017. Politicians, on the other hand, have no such safeguards in their electorates. On his website, Amess listed the dates and places of his open meetings with constituents. During their surgeries, regular meetings when constituents can express issues and grievances, 2 other British lawmakers have been attacked over the last 2 decades. In 2010, a student radicalized by online sermons from an al-Qaeda-linked preacher stabbed Labour legislator Stephen Timms in the stomach. During one of these meetings in 2000, Liberal Democrat Nigel Jones and his aide Andrew Pennington were attacked by a guy holding a sword. In the attack in Cheltenham, England, Pennington was murdered and Jones was injured.